Well, it's Boxing Day, 26th of December 2021, and we've come down to Paguera, and it's actually really busy. Well, it's busy in the sea. There's lots of people out there with their surfboards doing a little bit of surfing. So I'm going to try and get my other camera out and see if I can get some close-up shots of them.
Happy Boxing Day and happy St. Stephen's Day to you.
Well, it's actually quite a sunny day today. It started off a bit wet. It was raining first thing this morning, but then the clouds started to clear, and we decided we'd come down to Paguera. Not really expecting to find the surfers out, but here they are. There's actually quite a few of them out there trying to catch the waves. Surfing very much a waiting game. And a falling in the sea flat game.
Good, yes it.
They're all there just looking out to sea, waiting for that wave. And when they spot one, they turn around and paddle like hell. You get them. Sometimes they make it, and sometimes they don't. We've stepped back a little bit now from the surfers. It's very, very noisy right by the sea, but we both really quite enjoy watching them. It's sort of, I don't know, therapeutic. Is that a word we could use for that? It's a lesson in patience. They must have lots of patience. They sit there in the water, must be freezing cold, and they just wait for that wave. And sometimes they're on it only for maybe 1 or 2 seconds, and they fall in again, and they have to go and wait for another wave to come. But they keep coming, and there's a lot of them out there today. Boxing Day, and the sun's come out for them, and the skies are reasonably blue. There's a few clouds around. Let's hope they don't spread. Weather forecast is looking reasonably good for the rest of the week now, and the temperatures have sort of crept back to sort of normal temperatures now, between 17 and 20 degrees, so it's really quite pleasant to walk along here. In the sunshine. fairly quiet. It isn't even 11 o'clock in the morning yet. And it is a Sunday and it is Boxing Day. We thought we'd like to come out. We've been in the house all day, cooking and feasting. We had a lovely day with the family.
And a good game of Scrabble.
Guess who won? It's not usually normal that I win at Scrabble.
What was your word? 8-letter word.
I got an 8-letter word, yeah, dimethyl, which is a chemical word, so that started me off on the right footing. Quite a bit of salt spray in the air. Just looking back, there is a little bit of a mist, which is a salt spray mist, I think. I can actually taste it. Can you taste the salt? A little bit of saltiness in the air. Cars arriving here with surfboards. I'm just going to head up into the town here a little bit. There are some tourist shops open. And signs of some work going on. There's an interesting looking tool. Looks like something off Thunderbirds. Now we're just going to walk up this hill a little bit. I'll turn the camera off for a moment. Come down, round to the middle beach, the second beach, third beach. Anyway, a few waves here, but no surfers out. So there's one chap getting himself all rigged up. But, the waves are not as big here as on the other beach we've just come from. Oh, there's a couple more further along, heading out into the water. A bit quieter here. And we've got the promenade almost to ourselves. See, there are a few clouds up in the hills, so hopefully they'll be kind to us and stay away for a while. And just over the weekend, the rules have been changing nationally. In Spain they changed the laws to say that face masks are necessary now on the streets, so that's not a local law, that's national. And there are some exceptions, the beach being one of them. And if you're out in the country or you're obviously on your own, you don't need to wear a mask, or if you're in your little bubble you don't need to wear a mask. But anywhere where you're going to be on the street and there's going to be people close to you, then you have to put the mask on. So some are, some are not. We're all on our own. We need to put a mask on.
Keeping it warm.
Keeping it warm. It's not cold. It's certainly not cold. And I will put my mask on if I get it. If we go up into the town or a lot of people start to appear, but at the moment it's not really necessary. Unless you want to keep yourself warm, of course. But a good way to spend Boxing Day here in Paguera. Later on this evening we're going into Palma, and we're going to, what's it called, dear?
Concert for the Sibylla.
There we go. A concert at one of the churches there, and it's called the Sibylla.
I think so.
I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. I'll try and check up on that later. And wasn't actually sure of whether these things would be on with the increase in the restrictions, but it's in today's paper, and we're going with a friend as well, so we'll go to a bar first. Another rule which is local concerns the use of the vaccine passport, which you now have to show when you go into a bar, a restaurant, cafe, and some other places as well. At least many of them are asking for it. I'm not sure it's actually appeared yet in the official bulletin, which is where the bylaws for the islands are kept. So there's on the website for BOIB, B-O-I-B, they put all the rules and regulations, but at the moment, at least the last information I had, that one was not particularly there, and that's probably because the High Court has to approve it, and they've not actually done that yet. But I can't see why it won't go through. A lot of people protesting about it. Hard for the bars, because if they don't enforce it, there are huge fines, and if they do enforce it, they may end up turning people away. At such a difficult time as it is, it's not really something they want to be doing. So it's a difficult situation. So here in Spain, or here in Mallorca, it's quite easy to get our vaccine passport. We just log in on the internet to our local health authority, where we would normally go to make an appointment to see a doctor or see a nurse, and it's there. You just put your details in and download it, and it tells you what vaccinations you've had, how many you should have had. So for us, we're in the boosted group, and so if you've had your 2 first vaccinations and then you've had your booster, then it says 3 of 3, and it tells you which version of the vaccine you've had. So we started off with AstraZeneca, which was given to our age group, and a few others, and then they stopped using it. So our top-up booster is Moderna, and we get a half dose of the Moderna, which is exactly the same as our eldest daughter in the UK. She, in the UK, started off with the AstraZeneca and then had the booster of a half dose of the Moderna. So it's reassuring that we're all following the same lines. And what we do then is we just download the certificate to our phones, and then when we go into a shop or bar or a restaurant or wherever you need to show it, I don't think we need to show it in shops because we've not done so far, but certainly in bars and restaurants, cafes, we have had to show it. And all we do is show them the QR code, all those black and white dots, and they have an app on their phone, and it comes up with your name as if by magic. And sometimes they will ask for your ID to prove that you are the person it says, and sometimes they don't. In fact, I think it's only once or twice we've ever actually been asked for ID after showing it.
See what happens to the football match on Saturday.
Yeah, we've got a big football match coming up next week. First one of the new year is on the 2nd of January, and it's a home game against Barcelona. and hopefully there'll be no added restrictions to that other than we may have to show our vaccine passports, which we haven't had to do recently. It's all been quite easy just to go in and just show our tickets, really. Show your tickets to go in and sit down in your normal season seats. So we'll wait. Barcelona is going to be a really packed match. I would expect it to be sold out. So we could be looking at 20,000 people attending, which will be good, give it all a little bit of an atmosphere, and hopefully for Mallorca we'll get some points out of it. It's been a little bit difficult recently, been struggling, but let's see what happens on the 2nd. And we're actually going to go away for a few days. We're not leaving the island, but we're just going up to the north of the island, so that will be something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting, and I'll give you some videos from up north, as it were. And we're just coming towards the end of this beach. There's a few people on the beach on the sand, a few people walking along like us. I see people with the dogs. Some people taking photographs as I would be doing.
We should go and find somewhere and have a coffee.
And Anita wants us to go and find a coffee. That sounds like a very good idea. So, a bit of walking up into the village, so I'm going to turn the camera off now and we'll catch up in a bit. So we walked up into the village of Paguera. Not too many people around. And there's a mixture of people wearing masks and not wearing masks. Doesn't seem to me to make a lot of sense if you're not really very close to anybody to be wearing the mask. But obviously, when you do get close to people, situation changes. There's plenty of room here to keep away. One of the other reasons for not wearing a mask is if you're doing exercise, and I'm not sure really how they define that. It's really complicated when they put that in.
Anita,
yes, hello.
Well spotted. Here we are. It's always fun when somebody spots us out and jumps in like that. He's obviously doing exercise. The question is, are we doing exercise? Well, for me, it's about as fast as I ever go. So under those circumstances, I would claim I'm doing exercise. And Anita's just keeping warm. I don't have the issue that I'm cold. I'm actually very warm.
Hello.
My husband is your biggest fan.
We've just seen.
He's just said.
And he's the biggest fan.
Oh, that's lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. There we go. We have a big fan here in Paguera, and I've been reading the messages over the last few days, and I do try to reply to all of them, particularly if they're on the YouTube channel. If they are on Facebook, it's a little bit more difficult because the messages, the videos get spread around and shared, and so I don't actually know where they are anymore. But if they're on YouTube, then I do have access to that, so I do try to reply to anybody. It's really nice to read all your comments, so a really big thank you for that. It gives us lots of encouragement to come out and do some more.
Thank you for enjoying my mince pies.
Anita's mince pies is 1,000 views. That's fantastic. And several people actually have said, written to us and said that they've tried the mince pies, tried the mince pie recipe that Anita uses, and they too have been equally impressed by the pastry. The pastry is something else, and she's now working on using her own mincemeat. And for those of you who are not British and or don't know what mincemeat is, there is no meat in mincemeat. It's a term that's used and is a little bit confusing, but there is no meat in there. It's all dried fruits, and there is suet, which is a meat product, but Anita's managed to find some vegetarian suet, so no meat at all. Just looking across the road, it says it's 17 degrees here, and it feels like 17 degrees. So yes, it's a completely vegetarian, perhaps not vegan. She does use butter, and if you've seen the recipe, she uses a lot of butter. So I've just walked past, the thermometer says 17. There's one that's in a little bit of sun saying 21. And I think I'll go with the second one because I'm feeling really warm. And I'm actually in the shade. So a big success for the mince pies. And we do have some at home, so Anita lets me have one now and again.
If you're good.
But it's Boxing Day, so today's actually, for us, traditionally a day for leftovers. So whatever's left of the turkey and the sprouts, we both like Brussels sprouts. I know it's a bit of a contentious issue, but we both like Brussels sprouts. And the way we cook them is that we steam them, and then we toast some almonds in a dry frying pan. And we add some butter, more butter, and we put the Brussels sprouts into the flaked almonds. And that just adds a little bit of a dimension. It makes Brussels sprouts a little bit different, but
They're crunchy.
we both like them whichever way, really, I think.
Everybody
So,
like them. So
I even like them raw. I quite like to crunch on a Brussels sprout, and I have done since a child, really. It's not something I've grown into. So yes, so we've got plenty of those, and I guess we've still got plenty of potatoes and carrots and
whole bowl.
parsnips and all the other gorgeous things that went onto the plates yesterday.
An almond tart.
There's a little bit of that left. Ooh. That's following a recipe given to us by our friend Yvonne, and she
Rick
brought
Stein.
one over, and it was really tasty, so Anita's given it a go, and very successfully. So we're just coming up to the Hotel Villamil, right in the centre of Paguera. But we're closed up. I'm just looking forward. We're almost the only people in the street. Sometimes it's quite nice to walk through places like this and be the only people. It is Boxing Day, 26th of December 2021, so we're just out for exercise, fresh air, and to make this video for you. In their wisdom, the local council paved the road with their attempt at cobblestones, and the cobblestones are really quite thick and strong. At least my memory of cobblestones in the UK were like 6-inch cubes of granite. Here they're not, and they're not bedded in properly, so some of them rattled around and some of them broke, but whatever, when a car drives over, it's very, very noisy.
pedestrianised this at one time.
Well, sort of semi-pedestrianised, isn't it? They've made it a one-way system, and they've widened the walkways, the pavements. But yeah, maybe they should go all the way. But then you have the issue of how do delivery vans get to all the businesses that they need to get to. So you do need to have some access. Difficult one. We're almost back to where we started, where we parked the car.
We'll go down to the front and have a coffee.
I'll go and try and find a coffee and see how the surfers are doing. Well, thanks for joining us on our walk around Paguera. We're finishing off with a coffee. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye.